Hey everybody, and welcome back to Mel's Board Game Room, which is now sponsored by Games and Couples, which is a division from Ashrat Counseling Online Services. Now, I really like what they do because they do couple counseling, and they utilize board game as a tool to help couples come together, kind of deal with conflict in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
It's just really, really great. It's probably something that I could have used, but it's too late for that now. But I like to be part of that because I just think there's so much value with what they do.
Yeah.
But we are back for a top 100 video, me and Travis.
Hey.
Yeah, so we're now doing from 90 to 81. There was a few surprises in the last video.
For sure.
Some things I was like, really? That made your top 100, huh? So.
And you definitely spent some of my money because I'm going to buy a couple of them off of your list. So.
We're not hard to persuade.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because you said in the last video, you're like, well, I don't get to play a lot. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's all we do. But I guess every time we're together, it's to play games. So I just assume when you're not around, that's what you still do.
Yeah, no. Most of my gaming is with like 6 people, 7 people in this group that get together a couple times, like once a month maybe.
Yeah.
And do a bunch of gaming. And I've started hosting a couple of nights, but they're pretty small still. And I'm going to try to start something at the local library, get a Tuesday teach at night.
Nice.
If
so
I get the
that's
energy
in
Crossfield.
So look up for the Crossfield Library. There might be a game coming up. I started a monthly one at the Acme Legion as well, which totally made me look at my collection and be like, if there are little kids here, I am not ready.
Oh, see, my problem with the kids is I'm a little precious with my games.
There's that as well.
I don't want people wrecking my games. But
I mean, and you pick and choose which one you will bring.
For sure.
Anyways, so, you know.
And I buy and sell a lot of used games, so I'll just get a couple of copies of easily playable games. I
do really like showing games to new players, though. And they're like, whoa. And I really like that it's like, and a game is meant to be played. I trust that they will be showing respect towards my game. And that little punk kid that wasn't, then I'm keeping an eye on him. And he's like, oh, let's create our own game and we'll take this game and mix it together. It's like, not with my games, you're not. You're not. So, but honestly, it was still kind of cool though, because I introduced him to Dice Throne, which was on your list on the last video. That was a hit. Actually, Castle Panic. Because that Castle Panic got played 3 or 4 times that night. They just kept pulling it out. It's like, okay, this one is so good.
I feel like
I know you don't feel that way about it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
I think it was the
light,
audience
maybe.
too, right? Yeah. Which I found doing my top 100, I'm finding a lot more of the smaller games just because with who I play with the most, those are the games that gets to the table.
Sure.
But we'll see if any of those made it into this bunch. So we're going to start with number 90.
Number 90.
Yeah. Lucky 90. What's your number 90?
So,
and I did the presentation, but I forget.
Oh, well, I'm going to hide my list.
Yeah, hide your list.
So my number 90 is a game. Again, I've only played it once. Most of my games in the top or in the bottom 30 or 40. I've only played 1 or 2 times, but this is a game that I played once at the last car treat.
Okay.
Carla taught it.
Oh.
Taught it very well, I thought, because I understood it at least. And it has a theme that I'm kind of intrigued with. I like, well, last list you had Canvas on your list.
Yeah.
Canvas is a game that could show up in the Gallerist.
There you go. And this one is like, I don't know what's on your list. And we just looked at that.
Literally.
When I say my memory's out instantly, it is out. I'm like a goldfish.
There you go. Yeah, so in the Gallerist, you're a gallerist. You own a gallery, and you're trying to draw customers into your gallery to view paintings and sell and buy different paintings and sponsor artists. Again, I only played it once, so I don't remember all the specific details, but I know it was like a worker placement kind of where you're drawing people to your area, and then once you're in your area, you can pick them up and use them for other things once they're in your gallery. I don't have a lot to say about it because again, I only played it the once. It invoked such a I really just loved it. You had a cozy game. Now this is probably a little too heavy.
It's a Vital Lacerda game.
Cozy. I don't know the names of guys too well, but
he's known for making really deep, crunchy games, like complex games.
Yeah, because there was a lot to it, but it just I don't know. It just felt like a comfortable game to me. I want to play it again so badly.
Nice.
That's really why it's on my list and why it's so high is I just had such a good experience and I think I got killed in it. Like I don't even think I was close to winning. And when that happens to me, because I'm a competitive
challenge accepted.
Well, I'm a competitive player, but if I get killed in a game and I really want to play it again, like my number 100, that 5 Tribes, like I wanted to play it again, even though I got destroyed and didn't really understand. This one I understood the game, and yeah, it was just so wonderful. And
well, a lot of people from the Vital Lacerda game does like this one best, and from what I understand, it's like the most comprehensive to get playing. And I personally have not played the Gallerist yet.
Oh, okay.
Out of the Vital Lacerda, I've only owned and played Kanban, which scared me to death because people talked about, oh my god, a Vital Lacerda game, that's heavy, and I was like, so I didn't play for 3 years just out of fear. And I watched so many tutorials and read the books. I'm like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. And then we played it. And I was like, but it has, like, it just makes sense. Of course, you're going to do this so you can do this. And then it was
very logical.
It's very logical.
Like this one here, like everything thematically, every single action you took made sense. Like you are sponsoring this artist. So he's my artist now. He's going to score the most points for me, but other people can help sponsor him a little bit too. And you can and then you can sell his artwork, buy his artwork. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's my wheeling and dealing. I just like buying and selling. So this game just was perfect for me.
And I think one thing that Vital does though in his game is that you do an action will impact and give you the ability to do the next one. And they so kind of intermingle with each other.
Yeah, well, it's fluid. Like you have to do this to get to that. Yeah, yeah, it was nice. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I really loved it. And you should all try it because I saw it set up. It looked really good. Yeah, like it's a really good looking game. And I'm not sure if they all come with the easel because one game had it, one game didn't.
It looks neat with the easel. Yeah. I guess if it's on the one side, there's no other players, so you're not seeing the back of the.
I think you need the easels.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. It's just lovely. It was a lovely game.
Nice. Yeah, I heard lots of good things about it for sure. So.
I'm looking forward to the next card treat. Maybe it'll be taught again, Carla. And then I'll play it.
It's coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh wait.
By the time this is out there, maybe we'll send her an early copy.
There you go.
Carla, make it happen.
Perfect.
Check with Ashley. She's the one that sits on the schedule.
There you go.
All right. Sounds good. So when we're on my number 90, and this one, I played it for the first time again at Calgary Tabletop Day. Okay. And it was at the ELO game area, and that was taught to us. But this, I think, was by far the most played game that whole weekend. That's Knarr.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a small game. It's a quick game. It plays probably, I forgot it, half an hour. It plays in half an hour.
I think it plays in half an hour with a teach.
Probably. Like it is a quick game. But it was really satisfying to play. So it kind of has a lot of things. It's an engine building aspect to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because you'll be adding these different cards to your tableau. And then the same colored card will stack. And then what it shows on there, if you activate if you play that card and there's other cards, you get to kind of reactivate all of those cards. But if I play a purple card, then I have to draw the card that's in the purple area. That might be a green card. Yeah. So then I would take this one unless I spend some of my tokens to kind of mitigate what I want to do. And then you can spend your token. You're going to spend these cards to get these gold cards that goes into like the middle of your board, but those stack up as well. And then you can spend like the bracelets to activate them. So one bracelet activates just the first row, and a lot of them don't have anything in the first row.
Yeah.
So then you would spend 2 bracelets to activate the first 2 rows, and then you would kind of get what is on there. Or if you spend all 3 bracelet, then you get to activate everything you're there. Now, if you spend the cards to get those gold cards, you don't have cards, or you have a lot less cards. So you kind of costing your engine at the same time. And then I would play where I'm spending as I get. And then a bunch of other people I would see would play like they're stacking up. And then once they're like towards the end, they start buying all these goals as well. Like there's different, they catch up fast and then zooms right by. But because in the beginning of the game, I feel like I'm doing amazing because I'm so far ahead. And then everybody goes right by. But there's like an interesting balance that you want to kind of consider there. Like, okay, well, I'm building my engine, so I don't really want to spend, at least maybe not my purple cards, because they're doing so much for me right now. So maybe I'll try to spend the green ones, but I haven't accumulated that much. But that's okay. I'll spend this token as a wild and still be able to get this. It is interesting. It is neat. It is very satisfying to play. The theme is completely pasted on. Like from the game, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, it feels like I'm a Viking. Except that the artwork is very Viking-like. But it's beautiful. It could have been about planting flowers or collecting seeds, honestly.
Maybe the verses on our logo is because I would fight back against that. I felt like it was thematic. Every turn you're hiring a new Viking, you're claiming a new Viking, and then you're sending your Vikings off on a voyage to claim the voyage card. And of course they're Vikings, they're gonna die. So you lose those Vikings, but you got the successful voyage.
I could argue the same thing with plants. My plants are gonna die, I
guess. And then there's a central glory track as well. Like one of the things you can go up on is glory, and the more glorious you are, the more points you'll get at the beginning of each round. And you're only racing to, I think it's 40 points.
Yeah, it is a
and I think there's cards that score you 15 points, like some of the big voyages.
Yeah.
So like it can go really, really fast.
It can for sure. But yeah, super neat. I really enjoy it. And it is a small game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that game got played. Well, I personally saw it played like 20 times that weekend.
It's my most played game in the last calendar year.
No, wow, yeah.
For sure.
And it just got introduced like
2 months ago or something like that. Yeah.
Neat. Yeah, no. So this one just appealed so much that even though it was fairly new, played it a few times, it made it to the top 100 because it was just so well received.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my number 90, Knarr.
Knarr. Yeah, good pick.
Thank you.
I mean, it's probably not on my list anywhere, so don't even worry about it. My number 90, by the way, is Knarr. No, it's not Knarr.
No, we'll keep going because we're on 89.
Oh, we're on 89. What's a good thing? And it wasn't my 90. So my number 89 is, again, one of the earliest board games that I picked up in this hobby. Again, it's one of those, you're finagling, you're wheeling and dealing a little bit. So of course I love it. It's Welcome to the Dungeon. It's a dungeon themed game. I love dungeon crawls. It's not a dungeon crawl, but it's in that area. So what you're doing is you've got a deck of cards that's full of all kinds of different monsters. So you might have the gelatinous cube or a troll or a dragon, and you're not actually fighting them. What you're doing is you're basically sponsoring a person to go on the journey. So you might hire the mage. The mage has a whole bunch of equipment and skills and stuff like that. So what's going to happen is you're going to have this deck of face down cards between the whole table, and you're going to go around one at a time, and you're going to take one card and you're going to look at it most of the time. You're going to look at that card and you're going to see, okay, well, this is the dragon. You're not going to let anybody else know. And you're going to be like, well, I can either get rid of the card or I can put the card back into the pile. If I put the card back into the pile, it just goes into the pile and now it's Mel's turn.
Yeah.
If I choose to get rid of it, I also have to get rid of one of the items in front of the mage. So I might get rid of his bracelet that kills a dragon. I don't know if the bracelet does, but it might be something that kills a dragon or makes you fireproof. But it might also be a monster that's super, super weak, and I'm going to try to sucker somebody else into going into the final battle with the mage. Yeah. So I might play that 0 down, and act like it's big, or I might pull it out and pull out like the best weapon, hoping that everybody will think that I just put the dragon out. But really it was the goblin. So, and you're going to go around until everybody's passed and said, nope, I'm out. I want nothing to do with it. And the last person still in goes through that dungeon. So you take the cards that have made it into the dungeon, you shuffle it up really quick, and then you flip them one at a time, super dramatically. And the weapons on the person might have a sword that defeats anything under a value of 2. So it'll kill all the goblins and the skeletons just automatically, or it might kill even numbered creatures. And you get right down to that last card, and if your person that you sponsored survives, you get to flip your card over, and you do that twice and you win.
Yeah.
But if your person dies, you lose a point. You take a wound, or you flip your card over because you're wounded. And then if you get wounded twice, you're out of the game. So there is elimination in it, which I don't love in most games, but it's so quick. And even if you're out of the game, you still just love watching people either succeed with that last card that you just didn't think was going to happen, or just lose so miserably. It's just, I don't know. It's such a good game. They have an expansion, which is like a standalone expansion, so you can kind of mix the characters together. But
Welcome Back to the Dungeon.
Welcome Back to the Dungeon. Yeah, it's such a fun little game. And
well, it has a neat push your luck to it too. Like it'd be like, I'm gonna put this nasty monster in it, and then I'm backing up next time.
Well, and
then next time comes around, everybody's backed up already, and like, oh shit.
Totally. Yeah. Well, and sometimes you'll get a jerk who will just take that top card, not even look at it, and put it on the pile. Like, I don't know what it is.
Who does that?
Yeah, I might do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But then it scares everybody away, and who knows?
And maybe you'll win. Yeah. So
it's such a cute little game. Yeah.
Because we played it not too long ago, me and you, and Welcome Back to the Dungeon. That's the one I had.
Sure.
I since bought Welcome to the Dungeon, so I have both now. Actually, I really like that yellow small mini game series. Yeah. So far, everyone I've played in them, I've really enjoyed. They had a bunch at the liquidation store as well that I've picked up, and loved every one of them. Yeah. So and then Welcome to the Dungeon or Welcome Back to the Dungeon. It just gives you more characters.
Yeah, it's the same game. Each one. Yeah. Either game, it's not exactly the same, but they're just different enough, but the same. You can play them together. Yeah, totally. The best, in my mind, the best of the little mini box yellow series, but I'm sure there's lots that I haven't played. So.
There's some good
ones. Yeah, that's my number
89.
89. Welcome to the Dungeon.
Yeah, perfect. So my number 89, and I'm going to see what it is. Oh yeah, this is one that grows on me. The more I play, the more I like it. And that's Meadows. So, and Meadows actually is kind of quite a bit going on for it. So first of all, got to talk about the artwork. Each card is like a unique card with beautiful. Like the watercolor of like the plants, and then the insects, and then the animals, and then just the look of it all is beautiful. But what's really neat with it, like, it's very like, it starts off like, okay, this is okay, but then it gets really cluttered, I guess. Like, get very limited as to what you can do, because you have these notches on the side of the board. Actually, we can show you. And everybody has these little flags, and then you're going to play the flag, and it's going to have a number to it that will tell you, like, because it's a 4x4 grid, so it'll be like 1 to 4, and it'll be like, okay, well, if it's a 1, that means you're going to take the card that's 1 into it. But some cards require for you to have certain things in order to be able to acquire them. And then the symbol that's on it will also determine what you can do with it. And you're going to show like what terrain it can go on or different things like that. But then it's like, okay, great, I'm going to put it here. But if I put this card here, now it covers this other card. So now I no longer have the butterfly. Yeah. And I was kind of needing the butterfly to do this thing that I want to do. So maybe I'm not going to put that there. Maybe I won't pick up this card right now. So I'll go pick up that card. But the notch is gone. It's already been used. So I can't use that notch. Maybe on the other side, darn, for the other side, I needed 3 and I've already spent my 3, you know, so it gets really tricky that way.
Yeah.
But then if you also have the option of like, fine, I'm not going to place this notch on the board at all. And I'm going to go to the campfire and I'm going to use the butt portion of it. And each of those will activate another type of ability. One of them is go take a card, whatever it is. So if your card is blocked, you can go and spend
Take
that
it
to just go and
anyways.
grab a card. So there's like the double type of actions that you can do. And then what you collect and the different symbols that you have showing. And then be like, I had a butterfly. What happened to it? It's like, covered it up.
Yeah.
Well. And then you play like one series and then you kind of swap out cards and then you play the second part of the game with like a bunch of new cards as well.
I think it's set up in seasons or something.
Yeah.
Like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's like northeast, southwest as well with the cards. And I think it's like the east and west that gets swapped out.
Yeah.
It is just really beautiful. It's interesting. The first time I played, I was like, yeah, okay, it's okay. And then the second time I was like, no, there's a lot to this game. And it's just the more I play it, the more I seem to enjoy it. So that is Meadow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good looking game.
It is for sure a good looking game, yeah. Even the box looks good too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now we're on number 88.
88. So my number 88 is another game that I learned at that tabletop day in Calgary. And it was Elaine from Milo who taught it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super simple. And I like to wheel and deal. So I suckered him into letting us do a play to win as we were walking out the door. I do that kind of thing. But yeah, I sat down with a table of 4 of us and we actually got him to play with us, which is great because he said he wouldn't play, but we suckered him in. Nice. And that's a game called No Mercy.
Nice. I didn't get to play this one.
Yeah, so No Mercy's a card game. It's just a push your luck game. There's not much to it. It's very simple, but again, just the experience was great. And it's a Reiner Knizia, so
I love Reiner Knizia.
He can do anything. Like,
he's so versatile.
Man, it blows my mind. Like, this is probably just a mechanic that he had hidden in the back of one of his other games.
Yeah. Let's make its own game.
Yeah, let's make it its own game.
Yeah.
So in No Mercy, what you're going to do is you're going to have a deck of cards, and you're going to flip over the first 3 cards. And depending on what numbers they are, you're going to have them in front, and they're worth the value on the chip. There's no actual chip. It's just on the card.
Oh, okay.
So what you're going to do is flip those 3 cards over, and then if you want, you can continue flipping. But if after the first 3 cards are down on your tableau in front of you, you flip over a card that you already have, you bust and you lose it all.
Oh, I love it already.
If you keep going, you could get 1 through 10 hypothetically out in front of you, and you're good. Now, if I chose to stay, let's say I had a 3, 5, 7 in front of me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop because I think I'm going to bust. Not worth it. So Mel takes her turn. She flips over a 3 with her first card. Well, because I have a 3 in front of me, which I haven't scored yet, she can steal that 3. And it goes onto her stack. And then if her next card she flips over is a card that I have, she can steal it again. And I don't score the cards in front of me until it comes back around to my game.
Pushing a little bit so you have more options. So hopefully you get to keep some of them.
For sure. And you get to steal them from the other players. Because once everybody passes and it comes all the way back around to you, any cards left in front of you, you score the point values for.
Right.
So, and yeah, it's a fun little game. It's super quick, super kind of stabby a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah, I love a little push your luck game. I know one of my buddies ended up bringing it to the Philippines with him. I think it was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And taught some people down there, and they had fun with it as well because he thought his kid would like the stabbiness in it, I think.
You know what? Kids do. Lily, the meat of the game, if she's the one dealing it, like the more she seems to like it.
Yeah. So I haven't gotten this one to the table with the kids yet. I don't even know if I've gotten it back from Bernie yet.
Yeah.
But once I get it back, we're gonna throw it out. And half of my kids will be really, really angry. Half of them will love it. So, and that'll determine. But yeah, it's one that I'm tempted to just leave in the car if I'm ever at a restaurant or something like that because it plays super fast. It plays in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun little game.
It sounds
little
great.
Stabby, push your luck. It's just I don't know. It's right down my alley. I like it quite a bit. That's No Mercy.
I want it now. Yeah. I doesn't just those games are just so easy to get to the table.
For sure.
They're so easy to play, but then the experience of the play is so satisfying.
Well, and you
kind
can
of
play
get
with anybody, really.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, you can teach anybody too.
Nice.
So
number 88. My number 88, I've owned for a while. This is another one that I've played it the first time. I was like, yeah, okay, it's okay. And then I played it with my brother and my sister at the Calgary Tabletop Day, and they pulled it out 3 or 4 more times, and that's Chai.
Oh, Chai.
They loved it. So my sister doesn't really watch my videos, so I found a copy for her birthday. I just need to get it to me.
There you go.
And then I'll but it's a secondhand copy because it's really difficult to find right now.
Yep.
I even called the owner and say, hey, any chance you have it mixed? And he's out of them right now.
Oh, we didn't have them.
Until he gets more kind of printed. I was like, no worries. I just thought I'd check with you. But because this is a local designer, like based out of Calgary. Yeah. Now, components of this game are unreal. Like you get the little cups. Actually, we can show. But the little cups are like all... and you can't really tell in that picture, but they're all embossed and like engraved and detailed. And then you have the little plastic bits, which is like the ingredients you're going to put in your tea. And every player plays as one type of tea. So if I'm the green tea, then I'm going to have the wooden tea leaves. And if anybody makes green tea, they're going to have to buy my tea leaf. You can't deny them, but you get a gold out of it. Yeah. And you got to fulfill the orders. And then when you fulfill the order, you go and you dump all the ingredients and kind of, because you got the pantry that'll give you like the sugar or the cream that you would add to your tea. And then you have like the market that's going to have like the ginger or that sort of stuff that you could also add to your tea. And then you dump all that in the cup and then you take the tip that's in front of it. And it's like, oh, it's nothing. This one was nothing. But then it could be gold or it could be, so.
An ingredient or something, yeah.
Yeah, and you have your player board, and you can't have more ingredients than what you have room for. And then you have the cards that are out there. It's like, oh, okay, I'm going to try to do that. And then it's like, and then it's like, and then it's like, but somebody else does it sometimes before you, and it's like, oh, but metal coins in this, like, of course.
Yeah,
I don't think the metal coin comes with the retail copy. The ingredients, like the clunky, they're almost like the Azul.
Yeah, they're like a tile. Yeah.
Yeah, Azul, like plasticky tile. They're so satisfying, and then that's part of the retail copy. Yeah. Is just beautiful, and then the tray that everything comes in so organized. And
it's like one of those game trays almost. Yeah. I don't know if it is. I don't know if you.
It might be a game trays one because it has the lid as well. It has the lid. Every game tray should have a lid. So when you put it up like that, because I refuse to not. Because I don't like to have to pull a game out, then have to put it back. Apparently I'm very lazy. But
and aesthetically it looks nice.
It does, and it's easy to pull out, put back. You see I just like them like that, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, it was really neat. And then the cards are nice, big tarot-sized cards, so you're not having these little dinky cards you're trying to play with, and it's just really neat. I really enjoy this one. Especially after I played it like 5 times in a row with my siblings. It's like, okay, I'm seeing it now.
Did you play it 5 times that day?
No. Oh. Well, I didn't, but I think they did.
Okay, so I played it for the first time when you taught it that weekend.
Okay, yeah. So. But yeah, that weekend they kept pulling it out again and again, and Chai, it's a neat little game for sure.
Beautiful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So we're on to 87 now.
Yes.
So my number 87 is a game that we played so much that we lost components and had to get more components for it. And it was, there's a few games similar, and it's part of a series. Now, I've never played any of the other part of the series, but this is Century, and specifically the Golum edition.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have ever picked up Century Spice Road. Mm-hmm. But the Golum, just being a fantasy guy, it just immediately drew me in. And there's no difference between the two games except the artwork.
Yeah, and the components.
Yeah, sure.
Jewels, right?
Yeah, instead of spices or cubes or whatever. Yeah, so it's just a blinged up version, but it's just a great little game, and all it is a resource management game. You're gonna take this resource, you're going to trade it for this resource, and then you're going to trade it for this card so that you can get a bonus little resource that'll let you buy more cards in the future. And you're just building up a little tableau in front of you of cards that you have that are that have a certain color of gem that you get automatically, and you're just working to get the highest level cards and score points. And it's just so beautiful. And the Golem edition it's basically a deluxe version.
They all are.
Like,
because all of them, I think retail comes with the little plastic tray and the components inside.
Yeah. Well, and I think it came with a playmat. Like, I don't think it
I don't
was
have
a board.
a playmat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe mine was just.
Well, I also have just a Century Spice.
Oh, so like I think the Golem edition may be a playmat that's included, which I mean, I like bling, so maybe it isn't. I did buy it secondhand, so it could have just been somebody who had it.
You never know when secondhand, right?
I love the secondhand market, so but
surprises in there,
and just the artwork on it is so evocative. Like, it just every card, like the market cards, they're all just so beautiful, and they show little markets, and then you get into the trading and then you get to like actually start buying the golems or summoning the golems or whatever you do. And each golem is this cute little character, just like the dude on the front of the box there. He's just got his, like, they're just, I don't know. It was such a nice game. It's very, very simple to teach. So we were playing this with my kids when they were like 6.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they were good. They understood it. So that's my number 87 is Century Golem Edition. I'd like to maybe get the other Century mix them all together because you can
play them together. Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Even this as itself, it's a great little intro game. I highly suggest you own it and teach it to people because you'll get people hooked on the hobby.
It's such a neat game for sure. I have the Century Spice Road. And then the Eastern Wonders and the New World. So I have the whole series. Yeah. I got Eastern Wonders first and played the Spice Road afterwards. And the first time I played it, I was like, eh. Like, it's the base component of the other one. That's what you do with the trading and that, because it's an engine building. Like, you get the different things so you can, and it was, so I think it felt a little, but I played it just this week. We played it like 2 days ago. Oh, okay. Maybe it was yesterday. No, 2 days ago. And so we just played it again. And I was doing so good. I was getting like the 20 cards, which is like the highest card. So I was kicking butts. And then all of a sudden, Lee's like, "Kate, the game's over," because he got his 6. I'm like, "What?" And it was, he beat me by 11 points. Just because he had and he was getting all the ones with the coins I was giving him, like the 3 points and the extra 1 point. But yeah, mine is just the base game. But it's still, every version of them comes with their own set of plastic like component holders, and then the cubes. And it's so satisfying to play. And then you have this one that's the deck building portion. And then you have the second one, Eastern Wonders. This is like an area control and then kind of spreading on the map because you got to get to the location to activate that particular trade. And then you have the New World, which is more like the worker placement. That has the smallest meeple you have ever seen. I'm like, why are they so small? Like, the first time I was like, why are they so small? Like, that was my first thought about it. But maybe because you can incorporate 2 of them, or all 3, which I really want to do. Yeah, and then it kind of creates a bigger game with all those different components. So,
well, there's something for you to host. Get a big setup and have it set up when we walk in the door, and we don't have a choice.
Yeah, then we'll have like 7 people show up. It's like, okay, well,
maybe. Well, everybody else can watch. It's fine.
Yeah. My brother planned for that, We're doing a sibling game day. And he wanted to play this one game that's 4 players. I was like, Tommy, we're going to be 5. He's like, well, yeah, one of us can watch.
It's like, well, enjoy watching, Tommy.
That was my whole childhood. Come watch me play Nintendo. I wasn't allowed to play. I just got invited to watch.
Man.
But
that's my number 87.
Yeah, that's not even my number.
Century Golem. I wonder if it's going to be higher on Mel's list.
We don't know. Not this version, honestly. Actually, you'll have to see which.
Oh, there you go. There you go. A little bit of a spoiler.
Yes, Maybe it's on the list. We'll see. Okay, my number 87. This is one that I played for the first time. My friend brought it over to my house, and I'm like, I need this. So I got searching for it, and it was nowhere to be found until somebody says, well, instead of looking for Las Vegas, look for Las Vegas Royale. It's the same game. So Las Vegas Royale was available, and it adds a little bit to it. Now, I've house ruled this one because when I played it with my friend, he had these golden dice that aren't actually part of the game. So I went and bought golden dice. And have you played it?
No.
Oh, they should be.
Why?
But because the way that this works, it's an area control game, push your luck game, because you have your colored dice and you're going to be rolling. Now you have one that has black pips and it's bigger, and that one counts as 2. Like it's 2 of that dice instead of just a 1. So you would roll all the dice and you would look at the numbers they are. So, okay, well, I have 4 4s. So I'm going to take these 4 dice and I'm going to send it to the number 4 casino, which has a prize of 80,000 or 70,000. So if you have the most control there, you get the 80,000. Yeah. If somebody matches you and you tie, then you're eliminated. You don't get anything. Okay. And they would go to the next person who only has 1, and they get the 80,000. So it has that frustrating bit a little bit. It's like, don't go there. You just match me. Now none of us are getting anything. So yeah, but I might roll another 4. And you're like, so it is really interesting that way. And you can't leave a 4 behind. Yeah. You have to put everything that you have there. And it'd be like, great, I just rolled all 3s. 3s is crap. And I don't get the majority. I don't really want to go there, but then you have to. And you play until all your dice are placed. Okay. But we play with a golden dice variation. So you have 2 golden dice that you roll. And what the golden dice does is if you place the golden dice, so maybe I'm placing 3, and there's a golden 3, so I take that one as well. And that one bumps out a dice that's already at the location, but then it's spent. You can't roll it again. And then that dice goes back to that player. So now they'll be rolling it again, right? But then I was like, well, and then so it just kind of allows to be like, well, yeah, you had majority, but I just bumped out your black pip dice. So you're down 2 control. And now I'm in the lead, and that 80,000 is mine. And so it is so simple, and it's just a satisfying dice chucking game. Now this version comes with a bunch of extra mini games that you can add, and you would add 3 extra mini games, and I have never done that because I just want to play with the golden dice every time, which is 100% house ruled. It's not part of but that's how I played it the first time, and that's what I like so much about that game. So Las Vegas or Las Vegas Royale. So neat, so satisfying. And then you play like 3 rounds, and then you collect money each time, and then it's whoever has the most money is the winner. Okay. Yeah, it looks good. It looks fun. Yeah. It's simple. Like my mom and her husband are not gamers, but they'll play this. Like everybody will play. This is just a dice chucking, and you assign your dice. Yeah, sure, I can do that. And it gets that gambling feel to it, right? So it's just satisfying to think everybody enjoys this one. Nice. So
that's Las Vegas Royale.
Las Vegas Royale.
Number 87.
87. Yeah.
Nice. Perfect. So
number 86.
86. So my 86 is a game that I played so much.
Oh, so it's not just a one time, huh?
For about a 4-month period.
Okay.
I had a whole bunch of free time, and one of my buddies had a whole bunch of free time. He was in between jobs, so we were like, you know what? Why don't we just get together like daily and just play for like 4 hours? So this is so I'm an RPG guy. I like role playing games. This is kind of along those lines. This is Pathfinder, the adventure card game. Nice. It's Rise of the Rune Lords is the one that we played. And of course, I have to have lots of stuff. So we bought all the levels because there's 6 different scenarios that you can play through, and it only comes with the first one. So we had to buy that, and then you can play with different characters, but you can also buy characters outside of the game, bring them in. And so it was so wonderful. Like, we just sat for hours and hours and hours and played this game.
It's more fantasy themed than I thought this game was.
Oh, this is straight out fantasy. Like,
Nice.
it's hard fantasy.
For some reason, I don't know, I didn't picture fantasy. It intrigues me more.
Yeah, there you go. So each scenario box has 3 adventures inside of it. And all it is it's basically a series of challenges you have to get past. And everybody has their own specific character. This edition here has the play mats, which I didn't have at the time when we played it. But you have a deck of cards that you build throughout the campaign. You're going to start with 15 or 20 cards. I can't remember what it is exactly, but they're all low-level cards. But as you play through the game, you're going to earn money. You can battle these guys. And there's different challenges. So you might have a trap that you can pick going one way, or there's a big monster you can fight the other way. Well, we're not equipped to fight this big giant monster, so let's try this trap. Go through the trap, you fail it, get some big penalty, and like, I don't know. It's just it's your stereotypical role-playing game. They just perfectly, in my opinion, matched up to this card game, where you go through, you get to build your character. I'm all about character creation and character building, and your characters get so strong throughout the thing, but the bad guys get worse and worse, and it gives you different paths that you can go. You don't have to fight everything. You can kind of work around it. And if you ever played the role-playing series Rise of the Rune Lord for Pathfinder, apparently it follows like the scenario books that they had almost to a T.
Oh, good.
So, and it's great. Like, these guys are playing it at 4. I don't think I'd played it at 4. I thought it was perfect at 2. Like, it was great just to sit down and play through the big adventure. I've played through it with my buddy Mike twice, I think. I played through it with my eldest son once, and I played through it with my middle son once. So it's a great little game. It's older. It's probably cheap to get a copy. Like, you probably get a copy with everything for like $40.
It's probably harder to find too, though, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm selling one right now.
Oh.
So if you want to try it, but yeah, it was so much fun. I've played the ever living heck out of it. I don't need to ever play it again
because you've seen it all.
Because I've seen
3
it all
times now.
4 times.
Oh, 4
yeah,
times.
yeah. But and that says something. Like, for me who plays a game and then sells
Move
it,
on,
like
yeah.
I've played this thing. I probably put 100 hours into this game.
Oh, wow. Hey.
So
the Acme group that I have now, they have a D&D group, but this is what they're playing, the Pathfinder.
oh, okay, yeah.
So would it be this game?
So if they're playing,
that's a card version of the game.
So it depends. With role-playing games, you can either play their preset scenarios, like
Right.
an adventure that somebody created, put into a book, and then you play through it, and the GM doesn't have to do a lot
Right.
of extra work. Or they could just be using the Pathfinder system, and they could have a GM who's just creating the whole world and stories, not even
Okay.
using this world, just using the characters and stuff from this world. But this is kind of like a guided, little bit more mathy version of a role-playing game. But if they like Pathfinder, you should definitely introduce them to this.
Mm.
Because if
Do you see what he's doing there? He's trying to sell me his game.
No, never. You
How
should
many
buy
games
them.
did I buy from you already?
I don't know, like 2 maybe.
Maybe.
Barely any.
Oh, it doesn't
But
count.
that's my number
Not
86. Pathfinder, the adventure card game, Rise of the Rune.
I gotta get 3 games off my shelf of shame first.
Well, you can buy it for them, and then it's not doesn't count, right?
Right. Well, I think maybe they already have it. So, all right, number 86. Okay, fantasy. I was a huge fantasy novel reader in high school, like the Sword of Truth, the Wheel of Time. Like, I went, and then like you get the big books, and there's like 12 in the series, and I loved it. Like, and I would read it, and then you fall asleep, and it falls on your face and almost breaks your nose. But like, it was great. Loved all of it. So when I played this game, it felt like a fantasy novel.
Okay.
And I fell in love with it. And that's Legend of Novus. So Legend of Novus. So Wes Woodbury, the one who designed it, is actually from Olds. So
really?
He was like 30 minutes away from me. I played his copy when he was doing the prototype, trying to kind of still like working on it. And I was like, I need this.
Oh.
And it is great because you have your character, and it opens up as a book. So you have your character, And then you'll have 2 spots for what you can equip on your hands. Unless you put the axe, which will require both hands.
Sure.
And then you have a spot for what you can put on your head. And then you'll have a spot for what you can put on your feet. And then armor that you would put on your body and so on, right? And as you go through the map, because the whole board is a map. And that's what you do. When you open a fantasy novel, the first page is the map of the world that you're going to be reading about. And that's in every fantasy novel. So this is the board. It's the map. And this isn't guided. It depends on what you draw. So it'd be like each character is from a different location. And if they manage to go back home, they get to activate something extra there. But you're trying to level up your character so that you can be strong enough to beat these monsters. And you're trying to beat the big monsters. Like, I think you got to do it 3 times to generate the end of the game and win. So you're trying to build yourself up so you can. And then you have like, maybe I'm a clergy, you have your different class and different breed that you're going to be. And then you kind of build your character that way to begin with. And then you'll be kind of drawing stuff and then be like, oh, great, I have these boots that I can't wear because it's not for me. Like these are, elf boots and I'm not an elf or something like that. So, but anything you find that you can't use, then when you're in the city, you sell them off, which is completely what happens in the fantasy novels, right? Like they're going from location to location and they're, making money as they go so they can go and complete this adventure of some sort. And it just tickled me fancy for how much it brought me back to all those adventures that I read about. Okay. And this is a fantasy novel in a board game. And I absolutely love it. And it's not like, okay, this is the path you got. It depends on what you come across. And then you're traveling. So then you're going to roll the travel dice. And, oh, great, there was an encounter. Oh, man. And then it's like, well, that monster is humongous. There's no way. I'm going to try to run away. So like there's like those decisions you got to be. It's like, okay, well, they're spiders. I should be able to kill them, right? And then no.
So this one, I feel bad. Because I picked it up at a flea market because it looked pretty. Mm-hmm. And I never even thought about trying to get it to the table. I had it. And because I don't play a lot of games. And I thought, okay, well, it looks like you played solo. Because I think it's 1 to 4 or something like that.
Oh, I have it written down. Yeah, 1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5. So I thought, well, maybe I'll play it. But I've got a whole bunch of stuff just sitting, waiting to come. And I'm like, I'm never going to get this to the table. So it's in my to go out the door pile. But I don't know. After listening to you talk about it,
because you have it right now. You haven't sold it yet.
I own it. It's sitting on my
Put it back in the shelf.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but it's fun. And then that's the thing. I think I've seen this one. Like the Murph brothers had them, and they sold it. Yeah. Without ever playing it. Like I think it's because he was so small. This is his first, his second game, but it was his first big game. It's just right there at the top there. Yeah. And I think that because he self-published it. So I think because he was so small, it didn't build up as much as it could have. But this, by far, without a doubt, my favorite fantasy game. Okay. As far as fantasy theme goes. For that, I love this game. It's just so satisfying to play. I love it.
I guess I have to apologize to the Calgary Board Game Exchange community because it's not going to be up for sale in a week. It's coming back into the collection, and maybe I'll sucker some of my kids into playing it with me and
give it a try. Yeah,
have a grand old adventure because I like Wheel of Time, like you were saying, like that is to me my like it blows all the other fantasy series out of the water for me.
Mm-hmm. Like no, it was good.
So if it evokes just even a little bit of that. It's going to be wonderful, I'm sure.
Yeah, I loved it. Just for that alone. And yeah.
Well, that's perfect. So that's Mel's number 86.
Number 86, Legend of Novus. And the artwork is beautiful. He found this guy from Italy to do all of his art. Yeah. And it's stunning. It is just...
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. Okay, well, so we're on to number 85.
Number 85.
So my number 85, I have played this game probably the most out of any modern board game.
Oh.
Whenever we go to, because my wife's not a big gamer, but she'll play this, and she likes social games. Whenever we go to anybody's house, we usually bring it along as like the first, hey, this is what a board game can be. It's kind of fun. It's super easy. And it's not kind of fun. It's really fun. Like, and this game has never, ever failed for me. Not once has somebody walked away being like, ugh, that was dumb. Everybody wants to play it 2 or 3 times in a row. And that's a game called Codenames. Yes. Now, I like the words version more than the pictures version. And I've never played the duet version, but it's such a great social game. Yeah. Just to get together. And the way it works is you have a grid of, 25 cards. And each card has a word on it. Like it might be king or stick or France or potato. Or if you got the board game geek exclusive thing, it might say nerd or convention or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
so, cool. And what's going to happen is you're going to have 2 people who are the callers. So we're the spy masters. And then everybody else is split into 2 teams with one of us. So it might be the boys versus the girls or whatever. So what we'll do is you have one card that shows a hex on it here, just at the bottom right of your screen there. And it has the 5x5 grid. There's a certain number of red, a certain number of blue, and then 1 black square, and then a bunch of beige ones. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to, with 1 word and 1 number, associate as many of your cards in your color as you can for your team to guess.
Like pants 2.
Yeah. So if let's say king and royal was out on the board, you might say crown 2 to get them to guess king and royal. But you have to be very careful, because if they guess the black,
the black card,
you just lose.
Instant lose.
Yeah. It's you instantly lose. So, and you can say as many as you want. Like in one of our games, we said flight 7.
Oh my God.
And we got it. It blew my mind. So sometimes it just lines up.
Because sometimes the best combinations aren't your colors.
Well, and a lot of the words too, they're words that have multiple meanings. So like, I can't even think of one offhand right now, but it's a metal thing, or it's an action that you would take. So you can use some weird word to make people think the other way with it. And it's whoever guesses all of their clues first wins the game. But yeah, it's so good. Like, and anybody can play it. Like, great grandma can play it as long as she can see the cards. She can come out and play it. Like, because it's a big team game, and it's just fun. It's rowdy. I don't know. It's just so good. And I have what, 4 copies right there.
I used to have 5. I got rid of the Harry Potter one because everything was wizard wand. Like it was too hard. We didn't know Harry Potter enough to get specific.
Sure.
Simpsons, that's probably my kid's favorite. I do really like the picture one, because the pictures almost Dixit-like pictures, so they can be viewed in different ways. So it's a little bit easier to combine them together. Plus, if I'm playing with my family, like siblings and my parents or something, and English as a second language, a lot of the words be like, I don't know what that means. Or she's playing thinking it was another word completely. And be like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, look, tears right there. And I was like, that wasn't tears, that was
tear.
I was like, oh, I didn't read that right. So that would happen a lot. But what I really like with this one as well is like my stepdad, every time we play a game, no, I'm not playing. All right, fine, no problem. But then he gets into the games, and then he plays the game. This one, you can have people walk in on the game. You can have people leave. It is so flexible. You can be as involved as you want to be or not. Not everybody wants to be the clue giver, because it's like,
it's a little stressful pressure. For sure. And this one can be AP prone for sure. They
mostly for the clue giver,
Yeah, they do include a timer, which I try to never use just because I want it to be a fun experience. And when you're in a big group, if your spy master's taking 10 minutes,
you're chit-chatting.
You're chatting with your neighbor and stuff like that, and laughing about the last word that we thought was tear but was really tear. yeah, it's perfect. Like there's
is
so
good
much.
for that. We played this here not too long ago.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think we did end up doing like 3 rounds. I can't
You
get.
always do. I've never ever played just one round.
Yeah.
It's always been at least 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so good. I think it's a staple. It should be in everybody's collection for sure.
Oh, for sure. This is like
yeah. This is like in
if
that
you're going to be
Ticket to
building
Ride
a
kind of like it needs to be in a collection. Like it's.
That'll be another list we have to do, like board game staples. You're starting a collection. These are the ones.
Totally, these are the 10 games you need to have, and I would put that would be my
That'd be
number. It'd be my number 1 probably for if you're starting a collection with new people.
This is Codename needs to be part of it.
So good. So
at least one of them.
Yeah, at least the words one. No, pictures
cool
make sense. No, pictures make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends. If you have kids that don't read yet.
No, for sure.
And
that's fair.
Yeah.
I just like the challenge of trying to get the words to work and the double. Yeah, like it's I don't know. It's great. I love it. So that's my number 85 Codenames.
Number 85. Yes. My number 85. Okay, so I really like word games, but like English is a second language for me. But I still, because I was such a big reader, I have a fairly wide vocabulary. So if I'm playing word games with my family, I crush them. Everybody hates it. They don't want to play. This one is different because like with word game, most of the time you have like, these are the letters. What can you do with this? And it's very restrictive, like Boggles, for example, which I love. It's so good. But this one doesn't have that. And that's Wordsy. And in Wordsy, it'll have like, here's the 5 different letters that you have. And these are how they score. So you can use whatever letter of the alphabet that you want. You're not limited to these ones, but these are the only ones that's going to score. Oh. And sometimes, depending on the combination, catastrophe might score the same as cat. Like, so you're not getting that, I have such a fancy vocabulary that I'm going to have such a huge advantage. Like, it kind of mitigates that a bit. And if we would show the next one, like it's my favorite word game. So you have the 2 letters that are associated to the point level. And then at the end of the round, you take 2 away, shift them, and then you bring in 4 new letters. And then some letters that are more complex, like the X, would be like double score ones, so they'll be able to do. So then you'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to concentrate on trying to fix that in somewhere. So explosion, that uses almost, so it would use like 2 or whatever of those, but it's a simple word that because you can add whatever other letters that you want. So it makes it more attainable no matter what your vocabulary is like. But you're still competitive in this game.
I wonder, this would probably be a really good game for like an ESL teacher.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Because you're getting points, but you can learn those little tiny words and still do okay. And if somebody does have a bigger vocabulary and they're a little bit ahead, they won't necessarily crush it, and gives you all that opportunity. Yeah, I really like the idea. I've never even heard of this before.
And then like after you play so many, and then there's also like a bit of a speed element to it. So if you're the first one to come up with the word, you take the card or whatever that shows that you were the fastest one. Now, it doesn't do anything unless your word, being so fast, scored higher than everybody else. Then you get a bonus for that. Oh. Now, if it wasn't, and other people who took more time to kind of think of a word ends up getting a word that is actually scored higher than the fastest player, now they get a bonus for scoring higher than the first player. So, and then you can't be first player twice in a row either. So you can't go and reach for it again. So it has a few nuances with it. Yeah. And then your lowest scored is eliminated. And then you tally up your points after that.
Yeah.
It is neat. This is by far my favorite word game.
It's really, really intriguing. Like I'm tempted to.
It goes on that list along next to Canvas.
One. Yeah, it might. Yeah, it might be on there with Canvas because it's something that I think would be great for my kids too, just to help expand their vocabularies a little bit too. That seems like a wonderful pick. So, yeah, that's your number.
My number 85. Wordsy
by Gil Hova. I know that name, and I don't know a lot of names.
What else?
I wonder what else he's done.
Well, go to your word. Oh no, I can't. We're recording on my phone.
It's all good. We'll find out. Maybe we'll give you a taste of it. It doesn't matter.
Gilova. Yeah, no, he does sound familiar.
I think he's
Let
done
us know. Put in the comment. What else did Gilova do? Totally. He sounds familiar.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe he did Wordsy.
Perfect. Okay. So that was our number 85. So on to number 84.
84.
So my number 84 is a game that I wanted to play so badly. Well, I wanted to play it well, but I wanted to play it so badly as soon as I saw it, but I didn't know how to play it.
Okay.
So at the first MelCon that I ever went to, which may have been the first one, when just a random guy showed up at MelCon.
It was the first public one.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I showed up, and our buddy Ashley had this game. And she had it set up, and I wanted to play it so badly, but I didn't know how, and I didn't know anybody. So I walked up, and I said, I want to play this, but I don't know how. She's like, I can't really teach the whole game. There's too much to it. And that's Merchant's Cove.
Yes.
It's such a simple game, but it's so complex because it's an asymmetric game where every single player is playing a completely different game from everybody else.
It's not just you have different abilities. Like it's a
completely different game. So I might be playing. Well, this is the one character that I don't know how to play, but that's okay. But you might be playing a game like Potion Explosion, where you've got these marbles in this thing, and you're trying to build different potions, and you can only pull out a certain color in a row, and it'll drop down more. And then you get to build your potions. Or you might be the armorer, and you might have to do like a worker placement kind of thing to get people building tools in the shop for you. Or you might be the time traveler, who's totally not Marty McFly and Doc, like totally not.
Not at all.
But they travel around the board doing different time actions, and like it's so neat because everybody's playing a totally different game. And like I've only played it a couple times, but every time I looked at somebody else's board on their turn, I had no idea if they were doing good or not because I didn't know the characters well enough to know. But I knew, well, I got this like 5-level thing, and you're all creating some kind of product that in the general game. So everybody takes a turn on their board, and then there's like a common action that happens where these ships are coming in, and you can lure people in to purchase your product. So you might see that there's 3 red guys on a boat. Well, I have 3 red products. I want to sell it to those guys. So I got to make sure that I get some really high level ones so that I can sell it to that boat and pull in that boat. But Mel, the jerk, might have pulled that boat in first to her dock, and now I can't do the red guys, and I got these potions that aren't going to score as much. And it's just it's so like it's so good because it's all the best little games made a little bit smaller,
combined into one,
and then jammed into one.
I didn't. Well, I knew it was asymmetric, but I didn't realize it was so different from one another.
Yeah, every single one is completely different. No two play the same. And there's even, if you haven't found it yet, lift up your box because there's a secret character underneath.
You know which game I had that I didn't know for like almost a year? It was Diceborn Hero.
Yeah. I loved it when I pulled that out.
Somebody was like, did you look under the insert? I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It's like, so now every time you get like, and everything, feel everywhere. Okay, no, we're good. But yeah.
So game designers or producers or whoever's in charge of that, do more of that for guys like me. Because like Diceborn Heroes, when Keith did that, I called him immediately. And I'm like, dude, this is like the coolest thing. Because that was the first time I'd ever seen it was Keith's game. And
yeah,
man,
I think it might have been you who told me, like, did you
maybe. Because it's just like, wow, there's like a secret bonus. Like, I just love little tiny secrets that are only for people who are willing to put that little extra, I got to take a look at my box. Yeah, I know it's silly. But yeah, Merchant's Cove is a wonderful game. It's hard to teach.
That's the one thing with those type of game is it's not going to be one that's going to be easy to get to the table.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of all the, how is it for like player age to help somebody along with their own side of things? Well,
you're really focusing on your game, so it's a little bit harder to But the games are very simple. Like, they are very simple games. Like if you're the potion master, it's only going to take you a few minutes to really, like, if you've played Potion Explosion before.
So you'd have to play this game solo. 8. How many characters?
Well, I don't know if you can solo
5?
it, but yeah, if you wanted to play everything there, and I think they just came out with an expansion.
5 times. Oh my god!
So there's even
10
more
times
characters
now before you can teach it properly.
Yeah, like I think what you would do is just like learn 3 or 4 characters and say, okay,
kind of be like, okay, we're setting this night for next week.
Yeah.
Go watch this tutorial video.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and lots of people do that, but like
honestly, yeah,
and for a game like this, it's not too heavy that anybody could learn. Like, my kids could play this for sure. But yeah, it's fun. But the caveat is it's really, really hard to teach, I think, because there's so much to teach. Yeah. But that's my number 84, Merchant's Cove.
My number 84 is one of those I'm like, really?
Really?
And wait till you see it. Like, you're going to be like, really? But it makes it this high because I will never turn down playing this game. I like it that much. It is that satisfying.
And it's
but
only
does
number
it
84?
really deserve to be a top 100 on a gamer's list?
Oh.
Yeah. And Grandma will play it.
Does it do no?
No, it's not Uno. Number 84 is Rummikub.
Rummikub.
Have you played this?
No.
It's like you're playing Rummy, but with these little tiles, and the tiles are super satisfying. And you got to create these runs or of like 3 of a kind or more, and you put them together, and then you're trying to get rid of your hand, because the first person who gets rid of all of their tiles triggers the end of the game. And then everybody else has to tally up what they have left in their hands.
Oh.
But what's super neat as well is you can be like, okay, well, there's all this on the table here. I could switch this to move that and add it over there and add that over here so that this one is available to go with mine and I can put it there. And like, you can manipulate the group, but you can't leave anything that's illegally left. But like, it has to fit in somewhere.
But you
right?
can make like solitaire moves where you.
But you can
as
long as you've opened and made it to the table, you can't start off that way. But it is so sad. Now, I'm an Acadian. I grew up with a deck of cards in my hand, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think I own 50 decks of cards.
Who doesn't?
I even have one that's Scooter Life. Like seniors scooters.
Nice.
Don't know how I ended up with that one, but it's there.
Yeah.
So like, I grew up playing cards all the time. That gives me that feel. It's nostalgic for me, but it is so satisfying to play. It's also an easy one to get people to play, because they'll be like, yeah, let's play this. I was like, oh, okay, let's play. And somebody says, want to play Rummikub? Yes. Every time I'll say yes. I really enjoy this game.
I think that definitely deserves to be on top.
But I mean, like, this is like from
I know it's
1977.
Hey, that's a great year.
Before I was born.
hey, settle down.
But it's not the oldest one on my list. I'm gonna maybe this one, but overall, I have some older games.
Have you played Rummy?
Cards Rummy, yeah.
So how similar is it to
completely the same.
Oh,
honestly, probably. It's just you have these cool
you have tiles instead
and these
of
cool holders that holds it.
Yeah, well, I would rather play this than just Rummy.
Yeah,
I've never played Rummy, but I mean, this looks like fun. Like, this looks like something I could bring over to my great aunt's house. I say playing, and that's the thing. Like, anybody who's played cards will gravitate towards this and enjoy this. Yeah. I have played Rummy. I enjoy this better just because of the tactile aspect of it. It's just more satisfying. Yeah. And then you have 2 wild cards, which would be like the jokers that you can fit in anywhere. Sure. And you could trade it in and pull it out as long as you have the right tile to replace for where it's at. Oh, and then use that for whatever you need. Oh, I like it. Yeah. Yeah. That seems like a great pick for sure. Yeah, so satisfying. I just absolutely love it. And this is one that's available. Like, you will find it at every Walmart all the time. Oh, really? Like, it's just an everywhere mass-produced game. Rummikub. Yeah. My number 84. Great pick. Thanks. Nice. But yeah, when I was on my list, I was just like, really? Like, that's high for a Walmart game. Yeah. I mean, Codenames is a Walmart game. It is now. Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty quick, but yeah. Okay, so my number 83 is a game that I played at Tabletop YYC, or whatever the convention was called, Tabletop Day,
yeah.
with a bunch of relative strangers who were all way smarter than I am. And I got destroyed again. But this falls into that category that if I get destroyed and I really am intrigued by the game, I'm probably going to pick it up at some point in time. And this is part of like a big series of games that I've totally avoided all but one of them.
I have made this presentation and I'm like so curious. And what is this game? And I saw it just earlier today.
And so I've avoided these because I didn't want to have to buy 14 games, but now I have to buy 14 games. I don't know how many it is. I think it's like 9 or so right now, but they keep coming out all the time. This is Scholars of the South Tigris. So now I have only ever played Raiders of the North Sea before because it was an app. Great. And I could just poke away at it, and it was great. And my buddy had it, so we could play online. And that's like the only online game I've ever really played is that one. But I'd avoid it so much. And JT from
Flip Side
of Board Games is like, Travis, you should come play. We got an extra seat. Just come sit down. I'm like,
JT's great.
Yeah. Oh, I love the guy. He's great. Like
Sam's great
so
too.
Much fun. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sam was a good guy, but. Yeah, I mean, you're great too, Sam. I'm sure you're watching. But anyways, JT pulled me and he's like, just try it. And so I sat down and played, and it was super, super heavy for me, not ever playing any of these games. But it was great because it's all about trying to find this ancient knowledge and then transcribe it into, I think it was Persian maybe that you wanted to transcribe it into. Or Arabic maybe. I think it was going into Arabic.
Because that's the South theme.
Yeah. So you'd find like stuff from China or stuff from Greece, and you would have to be able to translate it to this. But in order to do that, you would have to go through translators. So on your turn, you can pay resources to activate one of the guys up at the top there, and you can either use them as a one-time bonus, which is the little brown part there at the bottom, or you can pull them down and pay them to come join the tableau, which is a general tableau that everybody's going to activate, which is the bottom list with the guys on it. And every time somebody uses that translator, you're going to get a little bonus if it's your translator. And you have to just work it through, and you can never take a scroll without translating it all the way to Arabic. You can't just go like from, like the guy at the bottom might know Chinese to Persian. Well, that's great, but if you can't get from Persian to Arabic, you can't do it. And it costs you money to do all of this. And there's so many different little tracks on the game. Like, again, I haven't played a lot of heavy games before, so I would consider this fairly heavy. Maybe it's super light.
I would say it's like a medium heavy.
Sure.
This series. Definitely, it's a little bit heavier than a medium game.
But it was so intriguing, and it was like a dice bag builder. So you'd pull out the dice and roll them, and that's what your resources were for the turn. So if you didn't pull out the right dice, you didn't get the thing, and you could buy more dice of the right color. Like, this is my first ever dice bag builder too.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it was just like so much new that...
This is all brand new for you.
It was all brand new information. And I've played a fair amount of games, but I'd avoided this series altogether because I like the art. Like, I think it's the Miko, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's on my list.
Oh, there you go. But again, like, I'm pretty sure it's the Miko who did the art. And I am such a fan of his art that it's drawn me. Like, one of my games, it's much higher on the list, that's much lighter than this, is a Miko art game. And maybe that nobody's ever heard of. But yeah, it was such a fun game. I just loved it so much. Like, you've never played this one?
Not the Scholar one. I played Wayfarers.
So I've heard that Wayfarers is a lot lighter.
Okay, yeah, because I played it just this week, and it was like there's a lot to consider.
Sure.
Because you're going down this path, but you need to have accomplished certain things, and it's with the dice one as well.
Oh, yeah. Dice. Okay. So do his series just Like, because I know Raiders was worker placement.
Well, not everyone.
Sort of.
That's the thing. Like, because Raiders on the North Sea had that worker placement, which swap out the workers, which blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because you activate when you put it down, and you activate it when you brought it back. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
neat.
Raiders of the North Sea. Now, the North series was Viking themed.
Yeah, so were they all worker placement type of thing?
No, but they're all Viking themed.
Oh, okay.
And I've only played the one, but I know there's another one that I really want that's more of an area control and you're spreading on the map. So I really like what he does, where he takes that like one theme. So it started with the North. There's 3 base game of it, and then there's probably a bunch of extra expansions and stuff, but the 3 base game. Then it went to the West.
Yeah.
So Architect of the West Kingdom, Paladin of the West Kingdom, and the third one but the worker Architect of the West Kingdom was a worker placement that played a bit like Stone Age, where you're adding on to it, and the more you add workers you add, the more powerful your actions are when you're doing them, until somebody goes and sends you to jail. And then you got to go and get your workers back from that. So they don't all reset and come back to you. That was interesting. Okay. And then you have the Paladin one, which is like this big long board, and it just plays completely different. And then the third one in that series is a Rondel. Okay. But it's all in that West kind of themed, right? Okay. Now they're on the South. So East is coming still.
Okay, so I think I might pick up the whole South series.
Oh, I might get all 12.
I don't know if I'll get all 12 because
I'm not there yet.
I don't have as much space as you do yet. We'll see if we.
That's a lot of game I gotta get.
Maybe my wife will give me a whole basement. But
I'm considering taking over the spare bedroom down here. Actually, I was talking to him about it because we're recording in which the garage is this way, the upstairs is that way, so it's kind of in traffic a little bit when we record here. So I was like, maybe I should set up the spare bedroom to have like a recording section in there. But if I do that, I have to have board games in the background. So I'm going to have to get another shelf.
For sure. Well, and you might as well get a really nice table for that one too. And then
I still want to keep the bed there.
You could probably have some kind of flip over thing, right?
I need like one of those. What are they like?
A Murphy bed.
Murphy bed.
Totally. You have a Murphy bed board game table combo that kind of flips over.
It's
done.
Like,
it's done. $1 million idea.
I'm trying not to take over that room, but we were discussing, well, you could maybe take it there. And then I was like, but then I'm getting a whole other room I'm going to spread in.
Murphy beds are great. Air mattresses work. Who cares? More big. Anyways, so that's my number 83.
83.
Scholars of the South Tigris.
Yes. All right, my number 83. Growing up, my brother would always make me play Risk. And Risk goes on forever. So I'd be like, okay, I'm done. But I wasn't allowed to quit. He wouldn't let me quit. And he wouldn't let me go on suicide missions, so the game would end, and it would just go on forever. So I am not a fan of Risk. That has killed Risk for me. So knowing that, I went into the gaming world knowing I hate area control. Yeah. And this is the game that made me realize, no, I don't like Risk, but area control, I really like it in this one. And that's Viral.
Oh.
And the artwork is just adorable. So every player is a different virus, and we're trying to infect the body the most.
Okay.
Right? So you're going to go and spread from like organ to organ and have the most viruses in each of the organs so that you get to score the left lung when the lung comes up, or the heart, or the brain, or like you got all of these organs you're trying. And then when you travel from organ to organ, you got to go through the vein system, and it only travels one way. So you got to go like a certain way. It is so neat. It is so neat. It is so fun. And this is also one of the game that I would say is best at showing what steps you're in, because it's right on the side of the board. And then like you're this, and then you're doing this right now. And then you go there, and then you're doing this aspect here right now. And then there's a card that comes out every round that kind of changes a bit of things in that round. And then like and then you got like the order track that will change depending on where it is, but it's going to be tiebreakers if you're the tie. Like we've got equal viruses in the kidney. Oh, but I've got tiebreaker because I'm ahead in this track, so then I actually get to claim that. And then you can make your virus into superbugs so that if they try to vaccinate, they don't kill you, they just lower you. but your virus is still there. It's not gone. And then maybe you got vaccinated, you're gone, so you have to come and reinfect the body. Like, it is thematically. And then I worked in the pharmacy industry for 15 years, so the medical theme just automatically just appealed to me because of that background. And this is, like I said, this is the game that made me realize, no, actually, I actually do like area control games. It's just risk that I don't like.
So I've owned this one a couple times as well.
Again, although your games.
And I open everything, and I didn't even open this one.
Oh my God.
So I don't know why I didn't. I think maybe my kids were young.
Yeah.
And I didn't want them seeing that yet.
It's cartoony.
I know it's cartoony.
There's not even a body there.
No, that's true. But whose body is it? Is it little Timmy?
You know,
you name it, right? Do you name
that
it?
Operation game?
Yeah,
it's him.
Nice. What's his name?
Steve.
Nice. It looks good. Like I'm a fan of area control. There'll be a couple on my list later on. And it is cartoony. It's cutesy. Mm-hmm. I mean, for what it is.
It's very satisfying.
I mean, it does intrigue me a little bit, just wondering, is it anatomically correct? Are all the organs in the right place? Do they flow to the right place?
I don't know that your bottom is quite as wide.
Well, some of us are wider than others. Just
the head is probably a little bit higher up.
But I just mean like the way that the
location wise is fairly close, and I think blood flow wise, I think it's close. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it goes up one side, down the other side. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like it's.
This might be fun for like a young
biologist,
like a biology, like bio 10 or something like that. Yeah.
If you're a teacher that teaches biology, you should really hit on viral.
Totally, and give it a go. It might be worthwhile. Perfect. Mm. Okay, so that's your number.
My number 83, viral.
Nice. Okay, so on to 82. Mm-hmm. This is a game that I love the theme of this game. This is one of my themes in anything. It's something that's just been ingrained in me since I was a wee fellow.
Okay.
It's a Star Wars theme game.
Oh, okay.
And I was born around when Star Wars came out, so I remember being like 2. It's one of my first memories, sitting on my dad's lap, watching the second one in the theater, maybe even the third one, I don't know. But it was really young. So this is a Star Wars themed game, and it's Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Nice.
So this is one of those.
Right there too.
Oh, there you go. So this is one of those games that it gives you just enough to play in the base box that you have a good experience, but they have like 1,400 expansions. I over-exaggerate, obviously, but...
Not by much.
But I got lucky when I picked it up because in Red Deer at the computer store there, they were blowing it all out for 75% off. So I bought all of it.
I bought mine full price.
I bought all of it for about the price of the base game. Like, I think I spent about $140 for almost everything.
Yeah, I think I spent about that much just for the base game.
Totally, yeah. So what it is it's like a scenario-based game. Now, I've always used it as an app-integrated game, and we only played it a handful of times. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can actually play it without the app.
I don't know. I've played the base scenario.
Yeah.
Just the one time, me, Lee, and my stepson, Nick.
Okay.
And I think we were playing it wrong. So we need to play it again, but I haven't played it beyond that yet.
But it's a story-driven game, and I like the whole theming of it, and the way where you're just going through and you're having a Star Wars adventure. It did draw away from me a little bit because it didn't let me play those iconic characters out of the box. Mm. It gave me just generic characters that they created, which some of them were cool. But I wanted to be Luke Skywalker. I wanted to be Chewbacca.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So now, luckily, we did buy all the expansions, so a lot of that became almost available, but I still don't think we were able to play those characters. I think they just showed up and helped us out.
Oh, okay,
I think we still had to... Now, it's been a while since I played it, but it was so much fun, and it's one of those dice chuckers where you go up and you got to roll a whole bunch of hits.
It looks cool, and you build up your whole scenario, and then the actual figures out there. Yeah,
totally. And I'm a toy kid too. Like I had all the Star Wars action figures, so this like just fell right into my. Even if I had never opened the box except to just play with the toys, I could have seen myself doing that. But it was a solid campaign game too.
Mm-hmm.
We played most of the way through the first campaign, and it was good, and it was nice to have all the old fellas show back up and help us out now and then. I didn't explain the game very well, but that's okay because I've got a couple more from this same thing coming up in the future.
Stay
Spoilers. But yeah, so that's my number 82 Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Yeah, not good one.
Yeah, good game, very expensive.
Mine didn't make it because, like I said, I only played the teach scenario.
Yeah.
So but it definitely is like it's a dungeon crawl, but it's not a dungeon, right? Like it's
it's a dungeon crawler for sure.
Yeah.
It's just a Star Wars dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
With miniatures. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
My number 82. Imperial Assault.
My number 82 is Ugly. And the first time I played it with my children, and we went through the first round and we looked at each other and then we said, wow, let's never play this again. And we just packed it up and put it away. And it was dry as dry can be and ugly. And I was like, why is this even a game? And it's Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Don't start there. When you get into the hobby, I don't think this is where you should start. And this is one of those games that does like, I do an action and I get to do a little bit more with that action, and everybody else gets to do a secondary portion of that same action. And that's as far as we got in the game. And we're like, okay, let's just pack this up and put it away. Yeah. But this is a really neat game. It's interesting. And you have your own player board and you are developing the land, and you're going to be building like these different plantation that's going to produce different things. So you can produce indigo and coffee and different things like that. And then you have these other things that kind of have a bit of an engine building. You could do stuff with it, but they're worth points, and you're trying to get to the point where you can add more, and then you can ship some of these things out to get the money for it. But yeah, like the second time I played it, which was probably 3-4 years later, I loved it. It was so good. But to look at, this is not a good looking game. And there's a bunch of these little tiles that has words on it. There's no image. There's nothing. It's just a tile with a description on it. Like it's not something that to look at would draw you in unless you know the beige game deep down inside are really good and be like, oh yes, but beige induces this in me.
Some of those beige are so good.
Yeah, it didn't induce this in me the first time. So, and it was like a gift from my brother, and my brother very much would follow. He's like, no, but it has a really good rating. It's a great game. I'm like, this was not a great game.
Yeah. Sometimes they just don't bite you, right? Like
it's just. And to play with my kids, and they were preteens at the time.
Okay.
And to be like just freshly into the hobby and let's give this one a try. Like it just did not work.
Yeah, that playing something like that would have stopped my kids from playing with me for a couple months.
100%. Yeah. This, if it's too soon, this will be like a hobby killer. But if you get into it and you want to start, like, because just deciding which action you want to do, and then that's been spent now, it's like, okay, well, I really want to do this, but do I need to do this? Which one do I do first? And then it's like, okay, I'll do this. And then now they can only do like a medial portion of that. And it is good. It is satisfying, but it's a dry game. It's not a pretty game. We went from Viral that has all these bright, vibrant colors to beige on green on blue on beige, right?
So now a lot of the beige games, like the Ravensburger, this box, there's a bunch of them out there. I know some of them have started getting like kind of
reprints.
deluxeified
Yeah.
versions. Is this one that you
Puerto
think?
Rico has been redone a few times.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they had like, I can't remember the 20th anniversary edition that came out with like the boats that would kind of send out, like, because there's limited space on it. So if you put your stuff on it, then other people can't. But they were like 3D boats, right?
Okay.
They never go full colors, I don't think. Like they introduce a little bit to it, but I think it's kind of, like the fan of this game know it's going to be beige. And I think if they went full on bright primary colors, I think they would piss people off,
Yeah.
just because of the tradition of it, right?
That's fair.
But I don't know that if the Deluxify version had tiles that had more art to it instead of just a description. Like, I didn't look deep enough into it, and I'm pretty sure my copy, it's Rio Grande copy that I have.
Oh, so you've got a reprint then?
Possibly, yeah. But, I mean, it's... Because I got it in 2017 is when I was gifted this game. Yeah. And I'm sure my brother at the time bought it new at that point.
For sure. And the Ravensburger would have been the older version, I think.
I think so.
Maybe not.
So, who knows? Maybe that one's even more beige. Beiger.
Now, the question is, are there going to be beige games higher up on your list? Because I've got one.
Oh, I don't remember. We'll have to wait and see.
I like spoilers.
Apparently. So by the time you finish this one, you'll know what our top 10 is anyways.
No, it's not in my top 10. But yeah, so that's your number.
Yeah, number 82, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to give it a try sometime. Okay, so that
number 81.
brings
So
us
we're at the end
we're
of
almost
this
done.
installment. Yeah, wow, we're doing good.
Man. Okay, well, my number 81 is a game that I played for the first time 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Oh, so this is fairly fresh.
This is like super fresh.
And it's in the top 100 already. Some games just hit.
And I put it on my list, and it's sat at number 81 after one play. Well, 2 plays.
Okay.
Played it 2 times in a row. So Ashley came over for one of my board game days.
Yeah.
For the super average board game day. And she brought this game, and nobody else had showed up yet. She's like, this is a quick little game. I can teach it to you right away. And she opened up the box and pulled out a hatchet or a cleaver. As soon as the cleaver came out of the box,
like, I'm in.
I was like, I'm in. And this is diced veggies. It's such a simple little set collection kind of game. So the way it works is you have this tray of dice, and they're all different colors, and each color represents a different type of vegetable. So you stick them in this tray, you lift it up, and you've got this cute little block of dice. Mm-hmm. So this one only shows, this is a pretty picked over block here on this one, but you take the cleaver and you're allowed to cut away from an edge 10 points worth of dice, or 10 pips worth of dice. Oh, so
like you got to look at the pips.
Yeah, so you got to look at the pips, and then you've also got, I don't know why in the picture they have 3, because I think you're only allowed 2, but you have 2 recipes in front of you, and then you also have these perk cards. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to fulfill the recipes. So you can see on the recipe cards, there's only the vegetable. There's no pip value associated with it. So with the jalapeno there, what you're trying to get is 2 green dice and 1 pink or 1 red die. And then you can score that 5 points. First one to score 6 cards of the recipes ends the game, and then everybody gets 1 more turn, including the person who scored it. But there's these perk cards which kind of add a little bit of extra to it. So you might have a perk card that says all the ingredients in your recipe must be 6s.
Oh, geez. So, okay, yeah.
And it might be worth 9 points, because it's hard, because you can only cut away 10 points at a time.
So that'd be harder to get.
And you're only ever allowed 8 dice in front of you at a time.
Oh, boy.
So you really got to manage what you can cut away, what you can put on. And just swinging a cleaver around's great. So I ended up picking it up, I would say, like 6 days ago, maybe.
Oh, so really.
And my family's played it 10 times.
Don't you love those games that just
it's
clicks?
Great. And like, it's totally, like, it's like even the guys who are getting totally crushed and they're still having fun because they're making recipes and cutting away. And like when you can cut away like 5 dice man, it's such a good feeling. Like, oh yeah, I totally just scored.
Does it have to be in a cluster that slides away?
Yes, so you have to cut from an edge and pull away. And
so to do 5 dice, you would have to do like a whole side.
Well, or it could be like a square with one hanging off.
Oh, okay, so you could do
and
that.
Pull all of that off.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, as long as you don't leave anything floating by itself, you can do a valid. It's such a.
So like in this example, you could cut away those 2 jalapenos and then the 2 orange and the 2 yellow. Because that comes to 10.
Yeah.
And then you would do the recipe that's on top there. Look at that, I'm going to win.
Totally. It's done, and you've got a carrot left over.
Yeah.
It's such a
that's an interesting.
Super simple, super quick. It takes 20 minutes to play around. You're going to play 2 or 3 rounds.
Nice.
It's just so satisfying chopping vegetables. Who knew, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's my number 81, Diced Veggies, brand new in the Creature Comforts line.
Well, KTGB, like honestly, they're on fire. All the games that they're coming out with right now are, first of all, the components are amazing.
Wow, yeah.
Gameplay's been really good. Like to me right now, if they're producing something, I want it.
Yeah.
Like it's just almost a guaranteed hit.
Yeah, I enjoy Creature Comforts for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't even really looked at Maple Valley yet.
I haven't tried Maple Valley. Creature Comfort was great. The Power Plant, I was so impressed with that one.
I don't know if
Me and Carla played it. I've played it only 2 players, but it was amazing.
And was it like Cutesy Animal still?
It's plants, so it's tiles that kind of interconnects, and but like it was. So there's no cutesy animal in it.
Okay.
It's these little plant tiles, but it was so satisfying. And then it was going to be tempura. No, not tempura. Is it tempura?
Like the cat one?
No.
Not tempura.
Not tempura, but tempura. But they had to rename it. So it's renamed to something else now. And I can't remember what it's renamed to, but it just got kickstarted and it's coming up. And you're doing this bento box that you're filling and kind of collecting ingredient.
Oh, okay.
I forget. It's going to bug me now. I'm going to be up all night. I'll call you at 3 when it comes to me.
That's okay. You don't have my phone number, so it's fine.
I can call on Facebook. That rings just as loud.
Perfect. But yeah, so that's my number 81.
Yeah.
I think it was 81. Diced Veggies. It was so much fun. Like just a dumb, quick little game. Not that it's dumb, but it's super simple and
it just hits it.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that just chopped me right in the right spot.
My number 81's already been on your list.
Oh, we got our first crossover.
That's the only one.
I think it's the only one.
I wonder how many we're gonna have.
So many, because I've only played like 150 games, so I'm sure you've played all
half of them with me.
Yeah, totally.
So we'll see. But anyways, my number 81 is Sheriff of Nottingham.
Oh, yeah.
It is just so satisfying to. Do I trust you? What did you put in there? I'm trying to sneak this past you. Look, I'm going to give you some money. Let me in. No, don't even worry about what's in my bag. It's all good. And it's just so, but like I said, when you were bringing it up, I suck at this one because I trust nobody. Everybody looks so suspicious. And one of those where like, you could be sneaking something in. Everybody's guilty. And I normally lose the game because of it, but it is still just so satisfying playing with the kids. Because this one is one that I think is a crowd pleaser. Everybody tends to enjoy playing this one, but it's like, why can you look at me in the eyes and say that again? It's like I can't tell if you're lying or not, and that's concerning to me. But it is just a really fun, neat game, and it'll play a fair high number.
So we're 6 in our house, so we bought a lot of games, but we play it at 6.
Oh, okay. So do you have a 6 bag, or is there an expansion?
Well, there is an expansion. I don't know if it brings it up to 6 players or not. So the Merry Men is the expansion. It adds like Merry Men who you can sneak into the town. I'm pretty sure that's the way it works.
Right.
We haven't played with it yet. We just basically said, because you've got 5 bags and one person's the sheriff. So
they don't need a bag, right?
And there's so many cards. Now the game takes a little bit longer with that, and you might run out of cards, but I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
It's not an amazingly strategic
No, it's not
it's
one
a
of
fun
those
thing.
where
It's
like serious competitive,
Yeah,
right?
like, who
It's
cares?
a silly fun.
It was so
It's
much
a silly
fun.
game.
So
it's
we
just
played
trying
this.
to like what you can sneak by people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the whole point of the game. I mean, it's about points, but just having that satisfaction
cares?
of like, oh, you're gonna look in my game, but look, I'll give you a coin not to.
But I'll give you 3 coins to look in her bag.
And then they look, and there's nothing in there anyway, suckers. So it does have that neat kind of trying to fool everybody. Like, it's just cool.
For sure.
Sheriff of Nottingham, my number 81.
Such a good game.
Yeah. So that was it for this installment. So we're like a fifth in already. Huh?
That's like 20% of the way.
We're wearing the same clothes as the last video because we did
what?
it back to back.
I'm just going to wear these next time too, just because that'll be funny.
Yeah, I'll probably forget what I was wearing anyway.
But yeah, well, I had a great time so far. Thanks for inviting me out. It was
inviting him out, kind of forced him into it because he shared on the group that he was doing his top 100, and I'm like, and we're recording it, right?
Yeah.
Are you recording it?
It's okay. I'll drive an hour once each way just to record a video. No, totally. I think it's great. It's going to be fun. Yeah. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you enjoy my list.
If you're following along, because we're doing a competition. Whose side are you on?
Oh yeah, because it's the versus.
Melanie versus Travis.
We definitely side with me because I mean Mel already has lots of friends and I could use a couple more.
Oh yeah, go for the pity. Go for the pity vote. Oh man.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, so let us know what you're thinking of the list, what you think would be on your top 100, or if you've done your top 100, what's in this installment, or which one of ours would make your list, or which game did we put in ours that was completely ridiculous and doesn't belong in this list at all.
Yeah, write that in the comments. I'm not going to read the comments, but you should write in the comments, and Mel will tell me about it.
Nice. Better win.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye, everybody.
Bye.